How do we detect radioactivity? I think in popular culture there's this idea that things that are radioactive glow. Some things that are radioactive glow, but most of them do not. You can't detect radioactivity with your senses. So we have to come up with other ways. One thing we can use is called a film badge dosimeter. Because for someone working with radiation, we need to keep track of how much radiation they're being exposed to so that we know if it's safe or not. So a film badge has a piece of photographic film in it, because photographic film is sensitive to radiation. It's held in a small case to keep the light out of it, and it's pinned to your clothing. And so here this guy's wearing a film badge dosimeter. So you wear that on your lab coat anytime you're at work, and any radiation that comes around will hit the badge as well as you, and it'll expose the film. So periodically, they collect the badges, they process them, they look at the film inside, and they can tell how much radiation you were exposed to over the period of time. Another way to detect radioactivity is using a Geiger-Müller counter, often just called a Geiger counter. And you may have seen these in movies. The guy's holding this, thing, and he's got this wand, and it clicks, right? And it clicks more, and that's, radioactive. And then here it doesn't click very much at all. And that is how a Geiger counter can work. So let's look at the insides here. Inside, we've got this partially evacuated tube. It's got argon gas in it. When energetic particles, like alpha particles, beta particles, pass through this tube, they ionize the argon atoms. And the argon ions will conduct electricity. So we've got a voltage applied to this tube, but it's not high enough to cause it to glow like we saw in the lab when we used the element tubes and we stuck them in the lamps and they glowed, right? It's not that high, but it's high enough that when argon atoms are ionized by the radiation, that current will flow, and that's detected as a click, an audible click, or a movement on a meter. So you can have an analog one like this that just has a meter and probably makes a clicking noise if you want it to, or you can have a digital one. Another type of device is a scintillation counter. And here we put up a material such as sodium iodide or cesium iodide, that when you pass radioactive emissions through these compounds, they will emit either ultraviolet or visible light due to the excitation caused by those particles. The light is detected and turned into an electrical signal that can be read on a meter. And so you can detect radioactivity that way as well.